Hi, welcome back to Dive Twang. I'm Dave. So this is lick two of this Southbound Southern Rock series, using the same backing track as that first video a couple days ago. And we're going to do a few of these just every couple of days in a row till we're just, satisfied that we've got a good little collection of routines and ideas that we can use here. So I've got you moved in right away for this one. We're going to get right to it. Um, at the Towards the end of this one, I'll kind of integrate it with the stuff from the one labeled number one, the first one of this series, so that and then as we go, we'll try to kind of incorporate all of this and get you a real set of ideas and skills and patterns that you can use in your improvisation in this style. So this one, the one, I try to put them in a little bit of context there in the demonstration. The thing that we're really going to hone in on here today is this. Okay. And then, like I said, we'll kind of mix it back in with just some kind of, more natural sounding improvisation and so forth. But the note for note part will be that part that I just demonstrated. So we're up here in this D minor pentatonic neighborhood. All right, you can kind of warm up on that, put the track on if you want to. Now, I tried to get this where you can really see both hands here. This is an optional thing with the right hand, so don't get too hung up on it. Let's start by just kind of getting this note pattern down, what's going on over here with the fingering. It's not too complicated. And then I'll give you an example of how you can use a little bit of a hybrid idea down here, but you can also just pick the same notes, right? So just want to emphasize that, don't worry about that too much at first, and unless you're already kind of used to that or that feels natural to you. And I'm kind of a lazy person in general, so if I feel like I'm starting to work too hard on this hand, I'll just recruit, usually just this one, just one extra finger. Every once in a while if I'm doing a bend, I'll do I'll pinch the whole thing, with two fingers. But for the most part, when I do this, I'm just sneaking that one in there, here and there. But let's get back over here for just a second. So we're going. Now, let me show it to you with using all the notes, or a note on each one of the beats first. Well, that pull off is really kind of standard, right? I'm picking them all in some of the demonstration here, but when you get this going, that pull off is going towards the end of it's going to feel real natural. Okay, so I'm on the G string here. I'm going down to the D on the same fret, that 12th fret. Now, sometimes, especially when I get up on the higher strings, I'll use a separate finger. That works, or just these two or these two. Kind of, I don't know. I guess I do that to get in position for like my next move or something. So I don't want to, get on a rabbit hole with that one. Just whatever makes sense. Practice, try it out different ways. The important thing is that you realize that there's more than one way to do it. Now, just about anywhere that you have a little 3 or 4 note box there, you can do this. Okay, so for that one, it's more of the triangle, not the box, right? Because you've got that different interval between the G and the B. If you do an octave lower than this one, and you go back to using that G and D string, then it is a more of a square box, right? Now, those two groups of notes are a good place to start on this, okay? And you can connect those sort of in the same way that we've done a lot with just minor pentatonic stuff, say this kind of move. Okay, so if we're doing this one. All right, and let me take just a second here to mention something about this style and this method of learning and the way that I'm presenting this is, you know, there's so many focus on getting into the synergy of repeating the pattern. Work out later, and some of this will come naturally to many of you about how you're going to move from one up to the other and stuff. And don't always, press yourself to do that the exact same way all the time. A lot of the licks that I see being presented are done in such a strict format that it really kind of, it's like, well, this, here's the cool part of it, that last 5% of trying to perfect it can really hang you up, so, however you get from this one to that one, just work it out. Now, I do like to do these little sliding pickups, so I will show you that slowly. Okay. Okay, I'm using the pick on each note in this part of the demo. Now, this note, first note that you dip down to, you can start to what's called ghost that one at some point. So, and I'll demonstrate this I'll really exaggerate it. Right. Again, don't get too hung up on that, but that's one of the ways that you can kind of feel that accent and get a different kind of synergy going when you repeat it, is you're kind of leaving out certain notes, but you're still doing the movement down here, just not fingering it all the way. You're kind of, see how that syncopates it? I have a little bit of delay on my guitar too. But essentially you're just leaving out, you're leaving a space where that second note was. Okay, I don't want to give you too much at once here, but the important part here is the. All right, so let's throw the track on here for just a second, and we've been practicing this a little bit slower. Right, so you don't have to go up full speed at first. You start making some phrases and some statements. Turn that thing back on. Right, so you know, turn the track off maybe at first just to rehearse, the lick itself. And then remember, you can do it at kind of a half speed and it'll still work with that backing track, right? And then just real quick, I want to talk about this hand just a little bit. So there's the picking every note kind of speaks for itself. Notice I used a couple different fingerings there just to show you again that, as long as you get it done. That's all good. So if when it gets up to speed on the slower version, you don't really have a necessity to so much to do the chicken picking thing unless you just really like the texture of that, the feel of it. So one way to go about that, I guess, would be to kind of designate all the notes that are on that G string, or in this case the B, but the first string that you're using, with the hook finger and the one below it with the pick. That works really nice. That gives you a real snappy, feel to it. But again, do something that makes sense for you to practice at first. If that's distracting you, then just go back to the pick. But I just wanted to let you know that that's what's going on with that in the demonstrations that I'm doing. So the last thing is that, like we talked about in lick 1, is sort of a dynamic aspect of the accenting. Really exaggerate that accent on that first kind of downbeat. Okay, that's just a kind of a side tip, but it's also really important and you'll get more into the groove of it, the kind of getting locked into it when you don't just think about each individual note, as you think about it as a right? Then the last thing that I'll kind of share with you here is just putting it in context of some other ideas. I was trying to do it slower for you, and I'm having trouble. I just want to go back to that original speed. So let me, instead of trying to do something that's so heady, let me just put it on and show you if I play more naturally. Then some stuff from that lick 1. Okay. Now, I encourage you to practice that in repetitive, stay in one locale and repeat it. But as you can see there in the end there of that last little bit that I was improvising with, I was using the same technique in a bunch of string groupings, like. Okay, so that's just kind of a look ahead, for many. Don't worry about trying to put all that together right now. One little kind of the good news on that is a lot of them are just octaves of the ones that we just went over. Okay, so that looks and sounds a lot slicker than it really is. And that's kind of one of the things we like, right? Stuff that you can really get the nuts and bolts of it down. Once you get that muscle memory going with your hand, then you can kind of, zone out mentally on it and just move it around, and your hand will kind of, start working the magic for you. And, stick with it, do this, go do something else for a while and come back and do it a little bit. Sometimes if you try to practice something like this that's real, mechanical or repetitive, too much at one time, it sort of, breaks apart on you or something a little bit. But work that into your stuff and just keep using this backing track, and just building your own solos and really, indulging in this and if you pick up part of it here and there and some of it doesn't stick, don't worry about it. Just keep going back and reviewing them every few days, and it'll all start coming together. All right, let me know how it goes. Talk to you later.